Hello everyone, my name is Stuti Tripathi and today I am going to discuss about accountancy, its concept and convention. So let's start with accounting concepts, principles and basic terms. A very sweet and short description of accounting does exist according to which accounting is the language of business efficiently communicated by well organized and honest professionals called accountants. There is also an academic definition which is given by American Accounting Association. According to that, the process of identifying, measuring and communicating economic information to permit informed judgments and decisions by users of the information. There is also a definition given by American Institute of Certified Public Accountants. According to that, the art of recording, classifying, summarizing in a significant manner and in terms of money, transaction and events which are in part at least of financial character and interpreting the results thereof. Accounting not only records financial transaction and conveys the financial position of a business enterprise, it also analyzes the reports and information in documents called financial statements. Recording every financial transaction is important to a business organization and its creditors and investors. Accounting uses a formalized and regulated system that follows standardized principles and procedures. The job of accounting is done by professionals who have educational degrees acquired after years of study, while a small business may have an accountant or a bookkeeper to record many transactions. A large corporation has an account department which supplies information to managers who guide the company, investors who want to know how the business is doing, analysts and brokerage firms dealing with the company's stock, and the government which decides how much tax should be collected from the company. Let's move towards the accounting principles. Obviously, if each business organization conveys its information in its own way, we will have a babel of unusable financial data. Personal systems of accounting may have worked in days when most companies were owned by sole proprietors or partners, but they do not anymore. At least in this era of joint stock companies, these companies have thousands of stakeholders who have invested millions, and they need a uniform, standardized system of accounting by which companies can be compared on the basis of their performance and value. Therefore, accounting principles based on certain concepts, convention and tradition have been evolved by accounting authorities and regulators and are followed internationally now. These principles, which serve as the rules for accounting for financial transaction and preparing financial statements, are known as the generally accepted accounting principles or GAAP. The application of the principles by accountants ensures that the financial statements are both informative and reliable. It ensures that common practices and conventions are followed and the common rules and procedures are compiled with. This observation of accounting principles has helped develop a widely understood grammar and vocab for recording financial statements. However, it should be said that there may be variation in the usage of a language by two people living in two continents. There may be minor differences in the application of accounting rules and procedures depending on the accountant. Accounting principles are accepted as such if they are first objective, second one is usable in practical situation, third one is reliable, fourth one is feasible, and last one is comprehensible to those with a basic knowledge of finance. Accounting principles involve both accounting concepts and accounting conventions. So we will discuss about accounting concepts. There are several accounting concepts which are enlisted here. First one is business entity concept. A business and its owners should be treated separately as far as their financial transactions are concerned. According to money measurement concept, only business transactions that can be expressed in terms of money are recorded in accounting, though records of other types of transactions may be kept separately. Next one is dual aspect concept. According to that, for every credit a corresponding debit is made. The recording of a transaction is complete only with this dual aspect. Next one is going concern concept. According to that, in accounting, a business is expected to continue for a fairly long time and carry out its commitments and obligations. This assumes that the business will not be forced to stop functioning and liquidate its assets at fire sale prices. which is very true. Next one is cost concept. According to cost concept, the fixed assets of a business are recorded on the basis of their original cost in the first year of accounting. Subsequently, these assets are recorded minus depreciation. No rise or fall in market price is taken into account. The concept only applies to fixed assets. Next one is accounting year concept. According to that, each business chooses a specific time period to complete a cycle of the accounting process. For example, monthly, quarterly, or annually, or a fiscal as per a fiscal year or a calendar year. Next one is matching concept. This principle dictates that for every entry of a revenue recorded in a given accounting period, an equal expense entry has to be recorded for correctly calculating profit or loss in a given period. Last one is realization concept. According to this concept, profit is recognized only when it is earned. An advance or fee paid is not considered a profit until the goods or services have been delivered to the buyer. These all are the accounting concepts. Next one is accounting conventions. There are four main conventions in practice in accounting. First one is conservatism. Next is consistency, full disclosure, and materiality. So first one is conservatism. What is conservatism? Conservatism is the convention by which when two values of a transactions are available, the lower value transaction is recorded. By this convention, profit should never be overestimated and there should always be a provision for losses. Next one is consistency. Consistency prescribes the use of same accounting principles from one period of an accounting cycle to the next so that the same standards are applied to calculate profit and loss. Next one is materiality. Materiality means that all material facts should be recorded in accounting. Accountants should record important data and leave out insignificant information. Next one is full disclosure. Full disclosure entails the revelation of all the information, both favorable and detrimental to a business enterprise and which are of material value to creditors and debtors. Now, we are discussing about the requirement of accountancy in pharmacy. So, let's move towards this slide. What does a pharmacy accountant do? As you see the pictures, and picture says it all, a pharmacy accountant is responsible for reading, maintaining and reconciling the financial obligations of this particular type of business. The average pharmacy accountant duties entail tracking amounts that pharmacy owners owe to other vendors. This job also requires accountants to record any outstanding balances on each customer's account. These accountants also keep their clients updated on any existing business tax obligations to be paid each year. Other accountant requirements may include keeping inventory records and preparing payroll checks for the company's technicians and pharmacists. The typical pharmacy accountant has good background knowledge, of course, of local and national tax regulations as they apply to this specific industry. Pharmacies are sometimes subject to more tax liabilities than other types of businesses, and an experienced accountant can usually help the owners make timely payments while avoiding penalties. Some duties also entail formulating a plan for a pharmacy owner to increase yearly profits and reduce unnecessarily operating cost. In addition to tax filing procedures, the job description includes routine bookkeeping duties to keep track of the business income and expenses. These accountants usually keep ledgers of monthly debits and credits as well as upcoming payment dates. Since pharmacies frequently dispense medications covered by health insurance policies, a pharmacy accountant also usually needs to record this kind of information in most cases. Pharmacy accountant may have other job duties that require them to match existing medication inventories with record of amount paid to suppliers. Larger pharmacies may employ a separate inventory specialist to perform special physical inventories and present this information to the accountant. The accountant typically records the numbers of each pharmacy item and makes sure the prices of each add up correctly. Accountants also need to know where to find common record error and how to correct them. Payroll is another common responsibility of a pharmacy accountant. Many pharmacies require an accountant to keep track of employee hours, individual rate of pay and usually withheld payroll taxes. This kind of job duty often involves preparing, issuing and recording paychecks on the pharmacy's designated paydays. An accountant may also arrange the electronic direct deposits to the salaried accounts. Let's discuss about basic accounting terms. Here is a quick look at some important basic accounting terms. First one is accounting equation. The accounting equation, the basis for the double entry system, as you can see below, is written as follows. Assets is equal to liabilities plus stakeholders equity. This means that all the assets owned by a company have been financed from loans from creditors and equity from investors. Assets here stands for cash, account receivables, inventories, etc. that a company purchases. Next is accounting methods. Companies choose between two methods, cash accounting or accrual accounting. Under cash basis accounting, preferred by small businesses, all revenues and expenditures at the time when payments are actually received or sent are recorded. Under accrual basis accounting, income is recorded when earned and expenses occurs. Next one is account receivable. The sum of money owed by your customer after good or services have been delivered or used. Next one is account payable. The amount of money you owe creditors or suppliers etc. in return for good or services they have been delivered. Next is assets. There are two kinds of assets. First one is fixed and next one is current. Current assets are assets that will be used within 1 year. For example, cash, inventory and account receivable. And fixed assets may provide benefits to a company for more than 1 year. For example, land or machinery etc. Next one is balance sheet. A financial report that provides a gist of a company's assets and liabilities and owner's equity at a given period of time. Next is capital. A financial asset and its value such as cash and goods. Working capital is current assets minus current liabilities of a company. Next one is cash flow statement. The cash flow statement of a business shows the balance between the amount of cash earned and the cash expenditure incurred. Next one is credit and debit. A credit is an accounting entry that either increases a liability or equity account or decreases an asset or expense account. It is entered on the right in an accounting entry. A debit is an accounting entry that either increases an asset or expense account or decreases a liability or equity account. It is entered on the left in an accounting entry. Next, move towards next slide. And the first one is double entry bookkeeping. Under double entry bookkeeping, every transaction is recorded in at least two accounts, as a credit in one account and as a debit in another. For example, an automobile repair shop that collects rupees 10,000 in cash from a customer enter this amount in the revenue credit side and also in cash debit side. If the customer had been given credit, account receivable would have been used instead of cash. Next one is financial statement. A financial statement is a document that reveals the financial transaction of a business or a person. The three most important financial statements for businesses are balance sheet, cash flow statement and profit and loss statement. Next is general ledger, a complete record of financial transactions over the life of a company. Next is journal entry, an entry in the journal that records financial transaction in the chronological order for any company or organization is known as journal entry. Next is profit and loss statement or income statement, a financial statement that summarizes a company's performance by reviewing revenues, cost and expenses during a specific period of time. Next is single entry bookkeeping. Under the single entry bookkeeping, mainly used by small businesses, incomes and expenses are recorded through daily and monthly summaries of cash receipts and disbursement. Last one is type of accounting. There are two types of accounting. First one is financial accounting and second one is management accounting. Financial accounting reports information about a company's performance to investors and creditors. Management accounting provides financial data to managers for business development. Thank you.